Look at
Stand. Yes, enough.
and then and then.
Your blazer is nice. You too.
I bought her new clothes today.
That's nice. I like it.
Yeah, did you see hers?
Sure. Well,
She walked in. She walked in with leather jacket and everything. I wish I could pull off leather. Here we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, and the time is 6 p.m. The regular meeting of the following will come to order. The Victorville City Council and the same council sitting as the Victorville Library Board of Trustees, the Southern California Logistics Airport Authority, successor agency to the redevelopment agency. The city has as a housing access assessor, Joint Powers Finance Authority, and the Victorville Water District. Madam Clerk, will you kindly call the roll?
Councilmember Godin.
Here.
Councilmember Irving.
Present.
Councilmember Mora.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman.
Here.
Mayor Becerra.
Here.
We have quorum.
Thank you. If you'd please stand for our invocation led by Pastor Dane Davis with Impact Christian Church, and our pledge will be led by Captain Jerry Davenport.
Well, today I did something I've never done before in my life. I did a Google search asking it best Bible verses to read for a city council meeting. And surprisingly, the top two hits were quite good. I'll share them both with you briefly here. Jeremiah 29:7, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Hopefully none of us think we were carried into exile when we moved to Victorville, but we'll carry on in the verse here. Pray for the prosperity of the city. Pray for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. And then also Micah 6, verse 8. He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. With those scriptures in mind, let's pray together tonight. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the honor and privilege to live in a nation where we can stand together before a city council meeting and come to you in prayer. That is an honor, God. It is a privilege to come before the creator of the universe. It's not something we take lightly. So we do, Lord, with these scriptures in mind and on our hearts, ask that, Lord, you would cause this city to be at peace, that you would bring the peace that only your Son, the Prince of Peace, can bring. Lord, that you would cause our city to prosper, not so we can become prideful, but so that we are in a better position to be a blessing to those that are hurting, those who are destitute, those, Lord, who need a helping hand. And I pray, oh God, that we would seek justice, Lord, that we would pursue mercy, and that best of all, Lord, we would walk humbly with you, our God. In the strong and mighty name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you present the agenda and any revisions there too?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There are no revisions to the agenda this evening.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move on to public comments. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Victorville City Council. Your City Council is interested in your ideas and opinions, and furthermore endeavors to incorporate them into its deliberations. At the same time, the Council must be able to carry out its business in an organized and efficient manner, free from material disruption. Therefore, this meeting will be administered in accordance with the Council's established policies and procedures and Government Code Sections 54957.9 and 54957.95. Individuals may speak on agenda items or on issues not posted on the agenda during the public comment section, provided those issues are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Individual speakers may address the Council once per public comment period and once per each public hearing item for up to 3 minutes. Additional time may be allotted for appeal hearings in accordance with the City's adopted policy and procedure manual. Those who desire to comment on a public hearing item may wish to reserve their remarks until that particular public hearing has been opened. All testimony is to be directed solely to the Council. Although open meeting laws do not permit Council members to engage in dialogue with any speaker during the public comment periods, please know your comments and questions may be taken into consideration by Council members when discussing the particular agenda item. The presiding officer may briefly respond or have staff respond to statements or questions, or may request that the staff report back to the council at a subsequent meeting. Speakers are requested to comment as briefly as the subject permits. Once comments are invited, the speakers will be called on by name, then recognized by the presiding officer. The speaker will state the item number that will be addressed or that the subject is a non-agendized matter. Audience members may not disrupt, disturb, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of this meeting, and those who do are subject to removal from the meeting pursuant to Penal Code 403. Your understanding and cooperation are appreciated. Our first speaker this evening is Robert Davey.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. My name is Robert Davey. I'm a resident of Hesperia. I just wanted to bring something to your attention and ask a little clarification regarding animal control. I was made aware of a situation where a Victorville resident was told they could potentially get into trouble, serious trouble, for feeding feral cats. I'm not here to criticize any officer. I understand animal control has a tough job, but when I looked through Victorville's municipal code, I couldn't find anything that specifically says feeding a feral cat is prohibited. So I'm just trying to understand, was this more of a cautionary statement, meaning be careful because feeding one cat can turn into several as they figured out where the food is? Or is this actually an ordinance on the books that residents should know about? I think it's important that residents understand what is and isn't enforceable, and that officers are communicating policy clearly and consistently. I'm just looking for clarity, not conflict. If the officer was implying that a citation could be issued, that may simply be an opportunity for internal clarification. I'd also encourage the city of Victorville to be a strong advocate for trap, neuter, release programs that are accessible and affordable to residents. Supporting TNR programs is a proven, cost-effective way to reduce shelter intake and long-term expenses. I'll close by saying that starving cats is not a humane solution. It has proven to just create a vacuum in the community that if one colony disappears, another comes in and takes over and replaces it. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Daly, do they have all your information on the card? It sounds like you'd like an answer. Get with our
I
city
don't
clerk.
think they do, no.
If you could get with her, please.
Give it to 'em.
Thank you.
If I might, Madam Mayor, and just for the sake of expediency, because the item is, and it's also for the benefit of the public,
Mr. Daly,
the reason why the council is not answering the question is because what Mr. Davies speaking to is a non-agendized item, which means the council can't speak to that. But we do likely have the answers for you. Our code official is here, Mr. George Duran. He can actually meet you in the back and speak to you
Okay.
privately, and he can answer your questions.
Okay, appreciate that.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you.
Our next public speaker is Jeffrey Horner on agenda item 16.
I just here interpret the remove tournamented dictator Darren Masters for the Planning Committee. His factor agenda had no business in any seat of power. We saw what the Solar Youth did, and we're not there had it here. I ask for a yes vote. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Ross Quinn.
Good evening. I'm here to support Mr. Derek Marshall in the regards the item number 16, which will discuss, there's discussion of his possible removal from the Victorville Planning Commission. I had hoped to hear the basis to have some official word about why this had been proposed. I was hoping perhaps something would be in the agenda or that we could address the council after discussion so we would all have a common ground of understanding. But not having that, I have to proceed on what I heard, which was that Mr. Marshall was condemned for having having accompanied kids and high school kids and junior high school kids, I think. I don't have any official confirmation of that, on their recent boycott of school, and to support them in that. I will also say that the Board of Planning is a nonpartisan commission, and whether somebody approves or disapproves of anybody's action that's extraneous to the Planning Commission activities should not be germane to any decision that might be taken. I feel that Derek's accompanying the youth and supporting them through what was probably a difficult day is deserving of our thanks and deserving of a commendation, not condemnation. A quick story: when I lived in Ohio, attended a Methodist church there, and I accompanied our youth groups when they took a mission trip to Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. We walked as a group. We ensured their safety. We supported their Christian desire to help and to build Christian missions in an impoverished part of a teeming country in a slum city. I helped protect them then, and I am just thrilled that Mr. Marshall was able to do the same here, to both support our children and to help keep them safe as they walk in a group in the streets. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you will find that this has no place as a partisan issue before you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Deanne Hudgens on item 16.
Mayor Becerra, Mayor Pro Tem Harriman, council members. I'm here to ask you to approve the removal of Derek Marshall from the Planning Commission. For one thing, he's an educated man. I think he has an advanced degree, and his council member that appointed him is also an educator. Why would you encourage kids to leave school, leave their classes, and not take advantage of their daily educational opportunities? Victor Valley High School has a 5% proficiency in math and a 24% proficiency in English language arts. I wouldn't say that I don't know about the kids particularly that march, but that's the average. I wouldn't say that would be any students that should be encouraged to leave class. It was not a matter of safety. There were 6 district office people who walked with the students to ensure their safety. So there was no safety involved there. This is not a First Amendment issue, and this is not any kind of a gathering or that you can't attend any kind of an event. My question is, how would Mr. Marshall know where these students plan to go? It's not like the high schools across the street. I don't know of any other high school in the area that chose to do this, that marched to City Hall. The other thing is when you are an elected person, or if you choose to accept an appointment, you don't have a choice as to when you're representing the city. If you're at dinner and somebody comes up to you, do you say, off the clock, can't talk to you now? No. You are a representative at all times. So there's no such thing as being off the clock when you choose to take a position like you are taking, or when you choose to accept an appointment. You all were elected to take care of and represent the citizens of Victorville. They were the injured parties in that march. They closed City Hall down. They locked it down because of the number of people, because of what was going on outside. I wasn't here, but had I been here, maybe to pay my water bill, maybe I had an appointment with someone, maybe I was going to the building department, maybe I'm building a house, I couldn't have done my business with the city during that time. So those were the people that are wronged, and those are the people that are injured. And that's what needs to be taken
Your
into
time is up.
consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker is Elise Ormston on item number 16.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have a different opinion than the previous speaker, and I think that the difference of opinion in this country is what makes us great. Um, I'm nervous. Um, I have had Derek Marshall come and speak to my classes because my students have felt, and I talk to them all the time, that politics isn't for them. That politics is something that belongs to old people, grown-ups, people who make the decisions for them. And when he comes and he talks to them, he inspires them to come and to be interested in what you're doing and to make this community better. And I think that kids these days, as they say, they take a lot of flack for being not interested in things and not caring about things. But we want our young people to be working on making a world a better place, and to have voices like Derek Marshall's who encourage that is a positive. And I think that that diversity of opinion is vital to a diverse, wonderful community, which is what Victorville is and what we strive to get more of. So I support keeping him because I think he's a vibrant voice in this neighborhood, in this community, and I think it's vital that we have diverse opinions. The reason we survive as humans is because somebody said, hey, there's a lion over there, when nobody else saw it. And so just because somebody sees things differently doesn't mean that that's a negative. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker is Gail Flensham on item number 16.
Madam Clerk, can you please call at least 3 names so when they
Sure.
go in order,
The
please?
next speaker is Gail Flensham on item 16. After her will be Lindsay Camarina, and then Bill Swain.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, Madam Mayor.
I apologize, I couldn't hear over the applause. I just wanted to say, I did consult with some educators that came with me, retired educators. My son and his husband who work for this city, the city of Rancho Cucamonga, Jurupa Valley Schools, Cal State San Bernardino, Cal Poly Pomona. That's their experience, and I consult. I have opinions, but I also want to at least know what I'm talking about. So, Honorable Mayor Becerra and esteemed council, in reference to tonight's Agenda 16 item, I am in favor of the removal of Commissioner Marshall from his non-elected appointment for showing bad judgment. There may be 2 explanations for what transpired, both of which were poor choices when over 100 children left campus during school hours, walked almost 3 miles on what Commissioner Marshall himself calls some of the most dangerous streets in the country to gather and block the entrance of City Hall. One of the scenarios could be the kids decided to march on a whim, and a student, a teacher, or maybe a district employee called up Mr. Marshall, who is a pre-approved volunteer chaperone who has been fingerprinted, background checked, filled out volunteer paperwork, interviewed, and approved by the Victor Valley Union High School District. According to Victorville Union High School District volunteer process, a parent of a student is only approved to volunteer in the class where the student is. I cannot find any information via their website on how to become a parent or non-related chaperone for over 100 kids outside of the campus. Parents and the public should know who approved Mr. Marshall to walk with the minors that day. If he wasn't approved by the school, then it shows bad judgment by Mr. Marshall, who claimed on social media that he was protecting the children. He really has zero responsibility for any of them, even though I know his intentions were what he thought. I can understand that. If anybody did get hurt on that day, though, on his watch, I would sure that parents would have sued him, as I would, him personally as an official of the city of Victorville, the school district, and the city of Victorville into oblivion, because I would never choose for my kid to do that. His actions made this city vulnerable. That is causing harm to you guys, or potential harm. So that shows to me bad judgment. Another scenario could be that Mr. Marshall organized this entire event without approval of the district. After all, according to his resume that was posted when he ran for Congress twice and lost both times, states that he is a professional community organizer. He is well educated and those are his skills and he's good at it. That may be good right now for this campaign, but not good for the city he'd like to represent as a council person. So it's also, to me, it puts questions that I hope people do. FOIA information acts requesting from the district how he got permission to do that day and if he is vetted. His platform clearly states that Victorville streets are dangerous. He
Your
wishes,
time is up.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker is Lindsay Camarena, followed by Billy Swing.
Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Lindsay Lugo Camarena, and I am currently Assistant District Administrator for California District 49, a board member of a local Little League here in Victorville, and most importantly, a fourth-generation resident of Victorville. My grandfather, Umberto Lugo, whose portrait is displayed here in these chambers, began serving in the city of Victorville in 1966 and continued his service until 1993 as both a city council member and mayor. He believed deeply in providing opportunities for the youth of our community through programs like sports and positive community engagement. If he were here standing by me today, I believe he would expect the city to stand beside organizations serving our youth, not place barriers in front of them. Victorville Ribbons Little League has served this community for over 30 years. It is a volunteer-run nonprofit dedicated to providing opportunities for the youth of Victorville. Last year alone, our nonprofit organization paid the city of Victorville over $51,000 for field and light usage. We received no state funding or outside financial support. Our program survives solely through registration fees, sponsorship, and fundraising. Historically, our opening day ceremonies have included team fundraising booths, licensed vendors approved by the city, and participation from community partners such as ROTC programs and high school cheerleaders. These traditions help sustain our program financially while creating a meaningful experience for the children and families in our community. However, we are now being told no vendors are allowed, no team fundraising booths, and community partners must obtain separate insurance naming the city as additionally insured, and that we must rent portable restrooms from the city despite existing public facilities. If we cannot have this event, we cannot generate the revenue necessary to operate. We understand policies exist. The concern is timing and consistency of enforcement. Our registration and evaluations end in January. We could not access fields until about January 20 of this year, leaving fewer than 60 days before our opening ceremony set for March. Implementing a new enforcing requirements within that time frame makes compliance extremely difficult. We are told these policies were implemented in November of 2024, yet they were not enforced in spring of 2025 season, and none of these changes were discussed at our annual meeting. That inconsistency creates uncertainty for volunteer nonprofits operating in good faith. We support accountability and reasonable safeguards. What we cannot sustain are sudden enforcement shifts that create financial strain and operational uncertainty for youth programs. Rather than unilateral changes, we respectfully ask the city to sit down with nonprofit organizations like ours and the many in Victorville alone and collaborate on practical solutions that align with how our youth sports seasons actually operate. We all share the same goal, serving the youth and families of Victorville. We respectfully ask this council to review these issues and work with staff to ensure that nonprofit youth organizations are supported through clear communication,
Your
consistent
time is
policy
up.
enforcement, and collaboration moving forward. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Lugo,
Our next.
Ms. Lugo, Ms. Lugo. Can you make sure that our city clerk has your information? Folks, I would ask you that you hold the clapping down. We're trying to deal with everybody. If we need their information, they're walking away from us. We ask you, please.
Mr. Billy Swing.
Good evening, City Council members. I just want to take a moment of your time, simply but importantly, to say my parents were immigrants always, or my parents were immigrants. I'm of Chinese descent, and they always told me to leave politics to the politicians. Our focus here is on something much more important, our kids. Children should have the chance to simply be that, kids, to learn, to play, and to grow, and to enjoy their youth without being pulled into political debates. Our goal as a community should be to support them, encourage them, and give them the opportunity they deserve. I also just want to take a quick time. I thanked Bob Harriman, Mayor Pro Tem, in the past, once again for his continued support for our kids in our little leagues. His commitment and generosity truly makes a difference, and we're grateful for him and his continued support for helping us getting that money so that these kids can be that kids. I know there's a lot of people here, and it's my daughter's a 13-year-old, and she was asked to go on a walkout at her junior high, as she texted me and her mom. And our only concern is her safety. Who's gonna watch her? Who's gonna protect her? There's two sides to this. We don't know what each side's gonna do. So I don't have anything else to say, but just take that into consideration. Allow our kids just to be kids, and you politicians do what you need to do, and think about our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is John Pinkerton, followed by Sharon Pinkerton.
Thank you. I got this. I support Derek Marshall, but I'm not really here supporting Derek. I'm here thinking about my community. And it was a year ago that I was here supporting, again, what I thought was my community. Another person was targeted for removal because they didn't line up with what Deborah Jones wanted at that time. And she targeted one Michael Kraus to be removed from the Oversight Committee. Now we got Derek Marshall being targeted to be removed from the Planning Commission because he doesn't line up right. Now, interestingly enough, both of those people, Michael Kraus and Derek Marshall, were lined up to run against this one, Bob Harriman, with Derek, and Michael was being heavily recruited to run against Deborah. So this is America, and this is the high desert, and we're community, we're family up here, and nothing goes on that doesn't come to light eventually. So I'm asking Mayor Pro Tem Harriman if you would kindly consider recusing yourself on this vote, because it looks to be a conflict of interest when somebody has announced their candidacy to run against you. I'm asking you personally, man to man, do what's right for the community. This is not going to unify us up here. It's not going to do anything to bring folks together. Now there's an election coming up, and you can kick his butt. That's what you want to do it that way. That's how we settle things in this country, is through elections. Now, I am a Democrat, although not a very good one. I've tried to recruit their endorsement like no less than 3 times, so I must not be very good with them. Okay? But I'm not a Republican. And I think when you sit up here, this is a nonpartisan panel. You just take care of business for the people. That's what you do. And you put your interests, the party, you can go to all your parties. These guys, Derek and them, they can tell you I don't attend any of their meetings. I'm really not that interested. But I love my...
Your time is up.
Thanks for having me up.
Our next speaker is Sharon. Our next speaker is Sharon Pinkerton, followed by Ann Johnson Curtis, then Randall Masaru.
He mostly said everything I was going to say, but I seen that Derek Marshall didn't do anything wrong at all. I think he was out there, he was showing something to the children, and giving them a lesson in civics. That's it.
God bless this fine country of ours, and God bless the high desert.
Our next speaker is Ann Johnson. Again, Randall Massaro after that, and Manuel Melva after that.
My name is Ann Johnson Curtis. I was born and raised here in this valley. In fact, probably I'm the one here who's been here longer than anyone else. My family are Johnsons. They homesteaded up and down Phelan Road, and since the name. And all my years up here in Victorville, I've noticed we've had a lot of different people with varying ideas and varying points of view. And that's what makes us stronger, being able to appreciate and look around. Sometimes we call them old codgers when I was a kid, but they make the community stronger. In fact, my grandfather and my great-grandfather founded the Sheep Creek Water Company. Anyone else would have dug straight down to try to get water. Phelan's on an alluvial fan, it doesn't work. So they drilled straight across the fault into Wrightwood, and that's how Sheep Creek Water Company started and has continued. That's divergent thinking. That's being smart, using your head. It's not being told what to do. And here, you're telling people what to do. There was a time in this valley when people couldn't buy houses or land or rent anywhere they wanted to. This was a very closed area. I was a young kid there. I remember the actions and things going on. And it was George Air Force Base who stepped in and said, "You're not being accepting to all people." George Air Force Base was going to declare Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, everywhere off limits for all military personnel and families. Well, that woke the valley up, and all of a sudden, people, no matter what their race, what their color, what their religious beliefs, they could buy land anywhere. Let's think back to what's really right. We're in a similar situation here today. You're admonishing an individual with different thoughts than maybe yours. But I'm sorry, that's what makes our country strong. You're here to represent all the people, not just some of them, not just the ones you agree with. And I want to ask you, do you believe in the United States of America? Do you believe in the Constitution? Do you believe in the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment? And if you do, you would support Derek Marshall today. You would not vote to dismiss him. Please do the right thing. We're a strong valley, we're a strong country, but only when we're all accepting of all the different viewpoints. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Randall Massaro, followed by Manuel Vila.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. I'm Randall Massaro. It's been a long time since I've been here. I've been off filming movies. I'm an actor in Hollywood. I'm retired state police. I was trained, worked with the FBI, gangs and drug cartels. I have high security clearance. I've learned a lot while I've been out there. But one thing I learned is, if you're going to run and get into politics, let's be fair and let's be honest. Mr. Marshall, Chris Ochoa, many politicians, the people that I've known for a long time. I'm the national rep for union members for the Preservation of Wildlife International. And we meet people and politicians every day. And as an actor, I'm not acting tonight. I'm telling you, learn from who's here. We have a great mixture of people, every nationality, every religion, all coming together because they've seen something wrong. Obviously, there's something wrong. And if you didn't teach your children this, man, I grew up in an Italian Sicilian family from Brooklyn, New York. I used to have to bow and kiss my godfather's ring. That's how strict my family was. We go back to our traditions. And for me to be a police officer, it's about fairness. That's what we teach the kids. You've got to teach your kids, and it begins here. It begins at home. Let's not call someone out. I'll march with ICE or against ICE every day of the week because they're arresting military veterans. They're arresting my Native Americans that belong to my Teamsters Union. We're an animal rights organization. They're arresting not only Native Americans, military vets that I speak to constantly. They're overseas fighting a war. Their wife got arrested and got sent back to Mexico. One thing is about arresting illegal aliens. Italian Sicilians came here to America in 1879. We were hung in New Orleans because we picked the cotton, we picked the bananas. Look up your history. Italian, Sicilian Americans, Italians came to New York. We picked the cabbage. We were called wops, dagos, mountain wops, swamp guineas. We got all the dirty jobs. We had to form a certain organization to protect us. And we all know what that is. Do you want to do that and create that? These people are here for a reason. Look at the people. Take a look in their eyes. We're all here to stand by freedom of speech. Exercise your freedom of speech, whether right, wrong, indifferent, gay, lesbian, straight, whatever you are, your religion. Look at this tonight. This stands for something. This is democracy in action. This is democracy that works. Look at everybody. Learn by it. Thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you.
Listen up, folks. This is your first warning. Okay? Let the person speak. Let them have their 3 minutes. What you guys aren't understanding is you take their time away. Okay? So give them their 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Manuel Vela, and I'm not really here taking anybody's side. I'm just here to offer some guidance. My family has lived in Lucerne Valley since 1963. We have properties in Paris, West Covina, and Los Angeles. I represent union members for the preservation of wildlife. Normally, when I come to city council meetings, I help give guidance on coexistence with cities that are trapping coyotes or other wildlife. Also, I represent the Lucerne Valley Patriots Association. I started that organization. We're working on getting a blinking stoplight in Lucerne Valley. I'm also working with the West Covina City Council to open up the bunkers that they have to the residents because we believe that nuclear war might be coming. So the lens that I look at the world is from a soldier's perspective. To me, when I come here, I say, man, there's no black faces here, and happy Black History Month, everybody. And then I say to myself, through my lens, there's no black people on the city council. What's going on with my people? Why, through my lens, why do I see my people out there homeless on the streets? And so when I listen to all the different comments, the best thing that I can give is for everybody to be open to listen to everybody else's opinion. In 2005, I'm also an educator. I was teaching at Crenshaw High School. I coordinated the Black History Month program. And while we were doing our program, the school went on lockdown. LAPD came on with their billy clubs and helmets while we were presenting on things on, who were some famous black people, who were the people that created the stoplight, the horseshoe, things like that. But yet the school went on lockdown. And I don't know the gentleman that's in question right now, but it's important to support your students. If you're Asian American and you have Caucasian students, it's important to support your students. If you are African American and you have Mexican American students, it's important to support your students because freedom comes at a very, very big cost. And I'm a soldier, and I'm looking around, and I don't see too many soldiers in here. And if you are a soldier, forgive me, but a lot of soldiers have paid the price for every one of us to be here to have this wonderful life. And you don't know what students that you're going to be supporting or not supporting that might be that soldier that steps up to save your life. And so compassion is a good thing. Rigor and vigor is a good thing, but also being firm is a good thing too. And so I don't think that people have an understanding of war. I don't think that people have an understanding of immigration or illegal immigration. And I think that if we understood those two things better, we might be a little bit sensitive to what's going on. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Ochoa, followed by Derek Marshall, followed by Dee Sotomayor. Chris Ochoa? Okay. And Derek Marshall?
Okay, good evening, Council. This feels a little bit strange, and I wanted to first of all say that I'd like to keep my job. I really like being a planning commissioner. I have near perfect attendance, and I in no way, shape, or form wanted to politicize my participation a couple of weeks ago in the protest. The way that I found out about it was in the Victorville Daily Press a couple of days before, and I saw that there were walkouts in Apple Valley. I saw that there were walkouts in different parts, and so I decided, okay, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna show up, and it's in part for the student safety, right? And so I waited outside the outside the school grounds on the sidewalk. Ken Lutz was with me, a recently retired captain of the Adelanto Police Department, and I just so happen to believe, as a private citizen, what the students are walking out for. I think that ICE presents a real and clear present danger to our communities, and I think it's something that that I wanted to be supportive of. And so I showed up, right? I did not organize this protest. I read about it in the paper, and it was a gut decision to show up, and so I did. And it was funny because, as soon as I got there, I said, take me to your leader, because I wanted to know, like, who was going. And so I met one of the students. He introduced himself. He was like, I didn't really organize it. Apple Valley was doing walkouts. And so I said, okay, great. Well, you know what? I'm gonna march with you guys. And so we started marching. Kids were falling over and walking on the street. And I was like, no, come on, guys, get back on the sidewalk. And so we started walking. And I honestly thought we were just gonna go around the block and then go back to the school, and then I could go back and maybe hit In-N-Out on the way home. And, and much to my surprise, as we're walking, the kids were like, we're actually going to City Hall. And I was like, oh my God. So, hot in my suit, I walked with them all the way to City Hall. I did not plan, the protest. I didn't plan where we were going. It was a shock to me. I walked with them. And when we got there, the kids said, hey, do you want to speak? And again, I was there as a private citizen, and I said, yes, I'm happy to, but this is not about me. So I got up there on the chair, and I told them that I was super effing proud of them for what they were doing. It was not about me. I'm here as a private citizen. I happen to be running for city council. And then I said, and now I'm gonna leave. And at that point, I got down off the stage. Someone from the city asked me to leave. I said, no worries, I'm headed out. I need that burger from In-N-Out. And I went home. And I would just ask that you please consider allowing me to stay on the commission. It's a pride for me to be there. And with that, thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Dee Sotomayor, followed by Edwin Alonzo, followed by Laura Martinez.
Hi there, I'm Danny Sotomayor. I'm coming to you guys, I hope your guys is going great. But I'm coming to you guys as an artist and a journalist. A lot of my friends, I'm only 23, a lot of my friends have left Victorville because they don't feel like they are heard, they don't feel like youth culture is a thing up here. And I'm in here with support for Derek Marshall. I just don't think it's right to be targeting someone that is supporting youth culture and the kids here. And I feel like we have to really invest again in youth culture here in order to keep our cities alive. And thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Edwin Alonzo, followed by Laura Martinez, followed by Rachel Wish.
Good evening, my name is Edwin Alonzo. 22 years ago, my drill instructor gave me this Marine Corps emblem at the end of the crucible. That was 3 days with one meal, fighting with my teammates. Now, in the time in the Marine Corps after that, I joined emergency response, and that's what I did. I was a first responder for 20-something years, environmental field, dealing with hazmat, protecting the communities of Fontana, the University of Riverside, and Apple Valley. Now, because of that, I have got cancer in my lung and I got cancer in my liver. And I have come to some clarity that I need to fight for my people and my community to the best of my ability in every way I can. Now this, I've read the Brown Act, is not a real threat. This is me simply stating my opinion. You are attacking the First Amendment, or it's my opinion that it's being attacked by someone who is attacking their political opponent using their position unethically to attack their opponent, to weaken them in their run against them. That's the way I see it, because I have a newspaper article with the picture of the mayor opposing a healthcare facility. We can oppose healthcare facilities for people in our community, but we cannot support the students' First Amendment rights. That seems to be the message I am getting from this council, except Ms. Irving, of course. Now, I see this as blatant corruption. I am a resident of the first district, a voting resident of the first district, and I am also a community member who's rallying as many people as I can, because I see this as corruption and continued corruption of the pedophile Nazis that currently run our government. This revolution that we are in, and believe me, no matter what puppets you appoint to positions they were not elected to, we are going to win this revolution, and we are going to remember who's on the right side of history, who supported the Constitution, and who did not. Thank you.
Laura Martinez, followed by Rachel Wish, followed by Ken Lutz.
Good evening. My name is Laura Martinez. I'm a delegate for Juan Carrillo District 39. I am here to ask to listen to the words of every citizen that is here representing their community. I am here to advocate for our community, our families. As a daughter of immigrants, single mother of 5 children who passed away of cancer, having had my dad passed away last month, 6 months ago, and another beloved person in the hospital right now, a veteran. I have seen a lot of injustices in our communities. I am a previous substitute teacher as well. I support the young people to come out and have their voices be heard by everyone. There's a lot of uncertainty in our Hispanic community, and not only our Hispanic community, we have seen that other people have been killed because they have come at the front line to defend the rights of the people, hardworking people that come to this country to give their children a better life. I'm also part of the union SEIU, which takes care of the vulnerable, people that are not able to take care of themselves, hardworking people. A lot of them, they do not have papers. And immigration is taking the life of a lot of good people. It's not the way that they make it look on TV, on the news. These are good people that are being mistreated every single day. And our young people wanted to do that march to have the community hear their voices, that they want to be there for their loved ones. And it's not right for them to be shutting down. I got the privilege to meet Sebastian Lopez, which is already being punished for being part of the leadership of these young people to have their voices be heard in the community. That's not right. He's been removed from walking his graduation as a senior because he was part of this protest. That is very sad. He's not going to be able to go to his prom that he is really looking forward to do that because the principal of that school does not agree with this march and this protest. I care for Derek Marshall because I saw him work really hard for his community. And I plead that you consider this. What would Jesus do? Would Jesus be happy in your decision today because you're advocating for your party or your religious beliefs? I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor. I have been a children's pastor. I know that Derek Marshall did not do anything wrong. He was just supporting the young voices to be heard. And I plead that you guys will consider that today. Please do not remove Marshall from his position. Thank you.
Rachel Wish, followed by Ken Lutz, followed by Josiah Delgado.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Rachel Wish, and I'm a teacher in the Victor Valley Union High School District. And I came here tonight to talk about student protest. Student protest is young people actively participating in democracy, not just sitting on the sidelines waiting for adulthood to matter. When students speak up, communities grow stronger through honest dialogue, accountability, and the courage to push us towards something better. A lot of people in this room are probably not aware, but since January 1st, 2023, California Senate Bill 955 allows middle and high schooler students to have one excused absence per school year to participate in a civic, political event, which includes protests, strikes, and marches. Just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a few of us, Madam Mayor, Council Members Harriman and Tiffany Godin, were at the Victor Valley Union High School District State of the District event. And it's especially important to me because I am the senior class advisor at Silverado High School. And I had the honor and privilege of the past 4 years in a front row seat of watching students transform into leaders on our campus and in our community. And together, we applauded 5 students as Carl Coles applauded their efforts and recognized the student for protesting against the Behavioral Health Center. And that actually ended, it started with a protest and it ended with Senator Valladares introducing Senate State Bill 1060, which aims to establish a mandatory statewide 1,000-foot buffer a zone between schools, preschools, and rehabilitation and drug facilities. So I'm like super proud of my class of 2026 babies, as I call them, because it was their voice and their initiative that got us to this point. Our students are our future. They are future voters, leaders, and decision makers, and who knows, one day they may sit up there on the city council and shape this community. You're either all in or you're not. You cannot support one group of students protesting and not the other, because then it begins to look personal. If we truly believe in civic engagement, we don't punish people for standing alongside the students. We model the courage and consistency we claim to value, even when the issue makes us uncomfortable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ken Lutz, followed by Josiah Delgado, then followed by Dylan Meyer.
Good evening, Council. A little bit of history. Each of you selected your representative on the Planning Commission. Mostly. The mayor tried a couple times and was overridden by you two. And I appreciate you shaking your head no, but it's my time. Okay? Mr. Marshall.
Mr. Lutz, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Pardon?
Folks, give me a minute. This is Mr. Lutz's time, folks. Again, you're disrupting his time. Give him the courtesy of speaking. Continue, madam. Okay.
Ms. Irving appointed Mr. Marshall. If she did not want him representing her on the Planning Commission, she should be the one that removes him. She should ask for his removal. Mr. Harriman, you're running against him. Mr. City Attorney, I would like you to do a conflict of interest when the vote comes up. I'd also like to remind you of Government Code Section 3203 that prohibits people that are appointed or working for a governmental agency to have their political activities used against them in employment. I think that might be working out right now. That is something we need to look at. This council is not here to abridge someone's First Amendment right to freedom of speech. You're here to listen to the people that elected you and that you represent. We're asking you to listen to us. Those students, we teach them civics in high school. They just had a civics lesson. And we have a young man who walked out, and a bunch of other kids did too, and as the previous speaker mentioned, he's now being punished and can't walk for his graduation. He can't go to his prom. And the weakest citation I've ever seen in my 35 years in law enforcement was cited for noise violation on the campus and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. If you look at the CDM regulations, it talks about alcohol and it talks about truancy. Truancy is defined in California as being absent 3 times. So I don't know where that's going, but I'm hoping our district attorney also looks at the law, looks at the actions, and supports the young man's constitutional rights, just as I'm asking you to lift up Derek's constitutional rights, as I agree with each one of your constitutional rights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Josiah Delgado, followed by Dylan Meyer, followed by Stephanie Vida Pizarrin.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Just real quick, if everybody behind me who's in here of support of Derek Marshall, if you could just stand up real quick, just so we can get an idea of the community that's in here. All right, there you go. Okay, so there's let's give a round of applause. You can applause, but there's nothing here that I can say that hasn't already been said or is going to be said. And trust me, it's going to be said. With that, I'm going to ask the council to consider moving item 16 to the front of tonight's agenda. Obviously, that is why we're here. Let's discuss it. Let's get these folks home. A lot of the members, as you can see, they showed up for this item. And when residents take time away from work and family to be here, we should meet that engagement with respect. Moving the item forward would demonstrate that this council welcomes participation and values transparency. So with that, I ask, let's set the tone and make sure the public knows that we support involvement in city council and local government, and we don't punish it. That is my request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Dylan Meyer, followed by Stephanie Vida Pizarrin, followed by Christopher Weiss.
Good morning. My name is Dylan Meyer. I'm here to speak about number 16. You're going to get perspective that none of you guys have heard. For I am a school protest organizer, and I'm the sole organizer of a protest of 110 students at Cobalt Institute of Math and Science on Topaz Road. But the main thing with us is when it comes to youth, we are the new generation that is going to be politicians. For the person who did say that kids should be kids and politicians should be politicians, those kids need to learn how to become those politicians. And those kids need to learn how to speak out and use their voice effectively. And you hounding Mr. Derek Marshall for uniting himself with our children, uniting himself with us, is disrespectful to not only him, but to me. For it's discouraging us from speaking out. It's showing that people should be afraid to speak out, to protest, to enact their First Amendment right. And it's unconstitutional no matter what way you point at it. Another way of looking at it is that the biggest help to me when I was protesting with a count of over 110 people was that teachers took risk on their own education, their own jobs, and their livelihood to help me with poster boards, to help watch over us. The biggest thing that can help us is these teachers, these city officials who are willing to stand with us for the right cause. And the only way we'll be heard is if we're respected. And I can see right now, because of this, consider removal. Like, are you kidding me? To remove them? For what? For standing with your students? It's just a bad way of thinking. You can see the turnout right now. You can see how many people are here to stand with them. Just like how we stood with these students. And you can see how disrespectful that is to him and to me, who is a student. For being silent is permission for what they're doing. So why would I ever want to be silent about this? Why would I ever want to just obey to this and see this? It's awful because it's discouraging anyone from speaking out, and especially people like Derek Marshall. The biggest help that I had was one of my history teachers. The biggest thing with me is that when I planned to walk out, I had to change it up, because if I did walk out on campus that day, I would have been expelled. I would have been completely banned from any Victor Valley High School schools. I would have had this written on my permanent record, so colleges can decline me for walking out. I would have had my life ruined if I walked out. Do you realize how harmful that is? Having people's lives threatened just for speaking out is in no way constitutional, and I will not respect that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie Vida Pizarrin, followed by Christopher Weiss, followed by Ruth G.
Good evening, Council. Okay, so as I understand it, the commissioner here is being questioned because of the activity that he did as a private citizen, where he joined young people who were exercising their First Amendment right, and I guess so was he. Right, the fact that we're here is worrisome to me, not just for him, but actually for elected officials as yourselves, as well as appointed officials who really should be out there and joining community, walking alongside community in order to learn from us and understand how better to represent us. You guys are very busy people. You have a lot to do for our city. And to have to worry about possible retaliation for stepping alongside your community member and your constituents truly worries me. Okay, another thing that is, hold on, this was an extra note because of the cat comment. I did look up the code trying to figure out what specifically was the issue in black and white. I couldn't find it. And then the cat situation was brought up, which again, if we're blaming, if we're going to do things like removal or citations, it'd be nice to see it in black and white. Okay, another thing that was really concerning to me as a citizen is that there's just so much to do in this city, so much good work. And the fact that this is the issue that we're choosing to spend so much of our time on is again, concerning. A couple of things, Councilmember Mora, you represent my district now. I know you're new to the area. I've been there for 10 years. There's just so much work. We live in cul-de-sac city, zero walkability. Our planning commission, our city manager did an excellent workshop during the housing plan element, which I believe is going to be on the agenda today, where we gave a lot of recommendations around that issue, and staff drafted great suggestions of policies that we could implement to address those issues. Again, things that we should be working on. Again, Mayor Becerra, you know this. I'm always talking to you about Old Town, the fact that private-private partnership didn't work out, and so a potential public-private partnership could be an issue or could be a potential solution. Again, these are just couple examples that were on top of my mind. I was jotting very fast. But all this to say that, I know each and every one of you, some better than others. I know you all care about the city. I know you all are very smart individuals. And so I would just ask that, we move our time away from what to me feels like a non-issue, because again, I couldn't find what specifically the problem was, and we focus on what we truly should be working on in this city. Thank you so much for your time, and you all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Christopher Ruiz, followed by Ruth G., followed by Chef Basil.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Christopher Ruiz. I am born and raised here in the high desert, and I would like to speak on an experience that I believe that our region shares that no other American region has. As we drive, we constantly pass by crosses, faded flowers, and weathered photos of residents and people that are no longer with us. We see so many roadside memorials that after a while, we stop noticing them, identifying these memorials as part of our desert landscape. But each one represents a family member, a neighbor, a child who has not made it home. Growing up in the high desert means that we watch these memorials appear, we tend to them, and too often we add new ones ourselves. I believe we have reached a point where we've normalized this tragedy. You and I have probably seen the same data, but it warrants repeating. Victorville is one of the deadliest cities in the United States for pedestrians, and with drivers who are among the most reckless. Currently, Commissioner Derek Marshall is one of the only leaders I see actively speaking up to change this narrative. Commissioner Marshall, like many concerned citizens, cares for the safety of our children and our students and is leading by example, encouraging civic engagement, something I believe our region is concerningly apathetic towards. Removing Commissioner Marshall, who is finally addressing the life and death reality of Victorville, is a mistake for the future of the high desert. We need voices like Commissioner Marshall's on the Planning Commission who prioritize the safety of our families over political convenience. There is no reason to remove Derek Marshall from his seat. I highly recommend that Derek Marshall continue his role as Planning Commissioner so we can stop building these memorials and start having a place where our children can walk safely and freely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ruth G., followed by Chef Basil, followed by Miguel Soto.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Ruth, and I am a resident of Victorville and a mom who cares deeply about civic engagement and the well-being of our children. I'm here regarding the proposed removal of Planning Commissioner Derek Marshall following his presence at a recent student protest. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution protects the right to free speech and peaceful assembly, and those rights don't disappear when someone serves on a commission. The Supreme Court has been clear in cases such as Pickering and Garcetti that what matters is whether someone is acting as part of their official duties or just as a private citizen. From what has been publicly known, Mr. Marshall was there as a community member, supporting high school students as they exercise their First Amendment rights. He was not conducting Planning Commission business. As a mom, I'm not only concerned about our children's constitutional rights, I am concerned about their safety. We have seen heightened fear and tension in communities across the country regarding immigration enforcement. When students choose to protest, they deserve adults present who are focused on keeping things peaceful and safe. I understand the concern about maintaining confidence in our local government structure, but I would urge the council to be careful that concerns about appearances are not applied in a way that creates perception that people are being treated differently because of the views they stand for. Under the municipal code, commissioners do serve at the pleasure of the council, but that authority still has constitutional limits, and actions that appear motivated by disagreement with protected political speech raise serious questions and concerns for the public. What happens here tonight sends a message about whether civic participation is welcomed in our community or quietly discouraged. Moves like this can take us in a direction that no citizen in this country should be comfortable with. If council moves forward with removing Mr. Marshall today, it sets the precedent for others to potentially be removed under similar circumstances, even those appointed to serve. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chef Basil, followed by Miguel Soto, followed by Nicole Ortega.
Madam Clerk.
Would you like him to have the mic over there?
Mr. Mayor. I'm Chef Basil, and y'all know me. I'm a rape victim, as you already know, Mayor. I was raped brutally in boot camp, but I still served. Come on, Bob. You and I fought for freedom. Come on, man. We fought to give that man freedom of speech. You and I fought. And you know, back in the day, I was with those Latinos when the Latinos left to education when they had to walk out. I don't understand what the problem is here. I just don't understand. This man has a right to write. Come on, hear him and me. You fought for this, man. We fought for freedom. Mayor, when you had to do your thing, and I watched your relative. He's an army man. That was freedom. I don't understand this. But Bob, you have created a storm. Veterans are coming. I'm just telling you right now. We coming. I'm just letting you know how much time I got. We coming. We have never had a division of Republicans and Democrats here in this city, but you have caused it. I live right around the corner from you. You have caused this division. Please help us and stop it. Only you can do it. And I'm asking you, as a soldier, I'm asking you to stop it. Only you can stop it. Only you, Bob. Please. And you young people that are here, fight. 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 That's all I'm asking you to do is fight. And to my Marine brother, you're right. And to all the soldiers that are here, just don't give up. Bob, I've never begged in my life, Bob, but I'm begging you to stop this. Just stop. Don't let these kids go through this. Don't let them do that, Bob. Give these young kids a chance. That's all I'm asking you. And stop this division. You know what I went through. I told you how I was brutally raped, but I still fought. I still got up because my parents, my father served. Everybody served. Help me, Bob. That's all I'm asking you. You know I'm crippled. You know I'm 100% disabled, but I still fight. I wasn't coming here tonight, but these young kids and these young people, I have to. And if I have to crawl, I will help them fight. I'm 72 years old, and I'm going to help them fight. And if I have to help them stop you, Bob, and anybody else on here, I'm going to do it. I'm done.
Miguel Soto, followed by Nicole Ortega, followed by Liz Figueroa.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Can't top that speech there. It's been a while since I've been here, but I just wanted to support Councilwoman Leslie Irving's judgment in selecting her Planning Commissioner, Derek Marshall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicole Ortega, followed by Liz Figueroa, then Layla Namvar.
Hello. My parents moved to Victorville in 1996, 32 years ago. And because of that decision, I have resided here my entire life. And after 21 years, I have never seen a local politician care for the residents of the city as much as Derek Marshall does. He recently came to speak to my critical thinking class at Victor Valley College to help us better understand our assigned projects, which are focused on political philosophies, economics, sciences, and ethics. And in his brief presence, it became immediately obvious how much he values community and how he wants to see Victorville thrive. The call for his removal stemmed from his participation in supervising the safety of the Victor Valley High School students on their walkout along 7th Street, which protested federal immigration enforcement. Victorville is made up of minorities, citizens whom ICE agents profile and target, and his protesting with the youth of Victorville is just an example of where his loyalty lies, with the residents of Victorville. When we're children, we are told the future lies with the youth, and when we grow older, we hammer it into the minds of the next generation. The students protesting are bright young minds who are politically aware of something that has terrifying and violent outcomes broadcasted all across the country, and we have no reason to assume it would be different here. Derek Marshall's actions have only strengthened his relationship with the community, and the call for his discussion of removal is unjust and unfair. I can also tell that a good amount of you are apparently irritated with the turnout today, which is disappointing to see. This is my first attendance at a council meeting, and seeing how dismissive you are of all of these public comments is very disappointing. So if you want your piece for the rest of the meeting, I suggest moving the item to the beginning just to get us out of your hair. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Liz Figueroa, followed by Layla Namvar, then Andrew Smith.
Good evening. Derek Marshall also came to my critical thinking class. We were in the same class. Hello, sorry. Good evening. I urge the council to reconsider removing Derek Marshall. Punishing someone for standing with young people who are speaking up for what they believe in shows them that they could possibly face the same thing for trying to make the world a better place. This was a peaceful protest involving students exercising their First Amendment right to speak and be heard, which is a right. Some have called this a publicity stunt, but why would someone risk their position in public service just for publicity? It's far more likely that he walked with the protesters because he believed those students deserved to be heard and to stay safe on the streets. You too have that opportunity to be that example for this community. What kind of world are we creating if people believe that standing up for their beliefs could cost them their place in public service, especially after all that hard work it takes just to get there? You need young people to trust the government, not go against it. They're our future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Layla Namvar, followed by Andrew Smith, then Sandra Henderson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Leila Nambar, running for Assembly District 47 and a delegate to California Democrat Party. I'm here tonight in strong support of Mr. Derek Marshall and in defense of something bigger than one appointment, the United States Constitution. You are considering removing Mr. Marshall from the Planning Commission because he participated in a school walkout protesting federal immigration enforcement. Let's be clear about what that means. You are considering removing a public servant from engaging in a peaceful political speech. The First Amendment protects the right of every American, including appointed officials, to speak, to protest, and to participate in civil life. Those rights do not disappear when someone volunteers to serve their community. When each of you took office, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California. That oath is not symbolic. It is a binding commitment to protect free speech, even when you disagree with it. There is no allegation that Mr. Marshall violated planning law, missed meetings, or failed in his duties. There is no claim of misconduct related to his role as a commissioner. The only issue appears to be his participation in a protest as a private citizen. Removing him for that reason is not about performance. It is about viewpoint. And viewpoint discrimination by government body is precisely what the First Amendment prohibits. If this council chooses to remove him solely because of his political expression, it will send a dangerous message that serve on a city commission requires silence, conformity, and surrender of constitutional right. That is not democracy, that is retaliation. I urge you tonight to remember your oath to protect the Constitution, protect the free speech, and reject the removal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew Smith, followed by Sandra Hernandez, followed by Yvonne Moyes.
Good evening. Good evening, City Council members. My name is Andrew. I'm a proud resident of Victorville and a constituent you were elected to serve. I am also the founder of Not Stepping Back, one of the largest nonpartisan civil action groups in Victorville's history, with more than 5,000 members across the greater community. People from the right, the left, and the center. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on the Constitution belongs to all of us. I'm here tonight because what is happening is bigger than one person. Targeting any citizen for exercising their First Amendment rights is unacceptable. Going after Derek Marshall for simply chaperoning and supporting students from Victor Valley High School as they exercise their right to assemble and speak out is not leadership. It is intimidation. The First Amendment is not conditional. It does not apply only when speech is comfortable. It does not apply only when you agree. It applies especially when voices are challenging power. Those students were participating in democracy. Derek was ensuring they were safe. This is not misconduct. This is civic responsibility. The seats you occupy do not belong to you. They belong to the people of Victorville. They represent the spirit of the Constitution, freedom, participation, and the right to dissent without the fear of retaliation. If you move forward with punishing someone for standing beside young people as they exercise their rights, you are sending a message that civic engagement will be met with political retribution. This is not the Victorville we believe in. And hear me clearly, our community is paying attention. We will show up. We will organize. We will vote. We will support leaders who protect the constitutional rights, not leaders who threaten them. Tonight, you have a choice. You can step back from the path of division and intimidation, or you can double down and face a community that is organized, energized, and committed to defending our freedoms. Your vote tonight will define your legacy, so choose wisely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra Henderson, followed by Yvonne Moyes, then Sebastian Lopez.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Henderson, and I am a citizen of Hesperia. But I am also a citizen of the High Desert. And what is happening today is unbelievable. I don't understand how this could be taking place because we have a right to speak out. I was one of the two parents who walked with our students at Oak Hills High School when they decided to also walk out that day. And we did it because we wanted to make sure that our children were safe. I'm a volunteer at everywhere. I am always looking out for all of our kids. They know me, they see me coming, the kids see me, they say, Miss Sandra. They see me, they don't know, they think I work there, but I don't because I'm at the school all the time and I'm helping with the children. And what they're doing, what they did, I'm so proud of. And many parents were also there driving alongside, making sure the kids were safe. And this is something that Derek was also doing that day, making sure the kids were safe by walking along with them, and that's shouldn't be punished. It should be applauded. And I myself personally has faced a lot of backlash as well from the community, from all over the high desert, from Hesperia, Apple Valley, Victorville. This is a small community. The high desert is huge, but it's a small community and everybody knows everybody. And as soon as people see what's happening, we talk, we organize, and we speak out and we support. And I'm here to support Derek Marshall, and I think that what this board is doing here is so wrong. And as a community member, I want to speak out and make sure that we all understand that we have a voice and we won't be persecuted for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got Yvonne Moyes, followed by Sebastian Lopez, then Reggie Cervantes.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. Thank you for having me here. Yvonne Moyes, I'm a daughter of an immigrant. I've had the pleasure of working with the mayor, with Councilmember Irving, and now with Councilmember Mora. I come to you today as a lifelong resident of Victor Valley, but also I was one of those students. In June of 1997, in front of Hesperia High School, I had a friend who was hit by a car. There was no crosswalk at the time, and my two friends were hit. One of them passed away. Going into my senior year, I was told by family and I was told by community members not to do anything, not to protest and not to advocate for a crosswalk in front of the high school. It would cause too many issues. And I did the exact opposite. I advocated for a crosswalk. I protested. I led a walkout in September of 1997. You can find it in the Daily Press. I'm beyond, I want to talk to this young man because he had 110 people. I had a whole 10 people that walked out with me. But I tell you that story to tell you that I wish that an adult would have supported me at the time. I wish that somebody would have stood by me and said, "We got you, Yvonne." Out of all of the students that walked out that day, the whole 11 of us, I'm the only one that served my punishment my senior year. I wasn't allowed to go to prom that year because I was told that exercising my First Amendment rights, and that wasn't okay. 2 years later, we got a crosswalk in front of the high school, and there is now road guards there. But if I hadn't taken that step, where would we have been? If these students hadn't taken that step, if they hadn't expressed their voices, where would we be? They are executing the rights that we have all fought for. I'm a daughter of an immigrant. My mom taught me that I have to not only set the table for everybody, but I have to give a voice for everybody at that table, because otherwise you're not doing it with fidelity. And the fact that we are using the students to push a political agenda forward is not okay. Councilmember Irving, Mayor, you have taught me that my voice matters, and that's why I'm here today to advocate not only for those students, but for Derek Marshall. And in addition to that, I'm gonna put this on the record, to the young man who lost his graduation and prom, I would be glad to host something for him and his family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sebastian Lopez, followed by Reggie Cervantes, then Anna Real. Okay. Reggie Cervantes, followed by Anna Real, then Stevana Evans.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, and neighbors. I lecture internationally on terrorism. I have spoken all over the high desert to elementary, middle school, and high school, and in houses of worship. I speak about freedom, hate, intolerance, and civic duty. Freedom of speech serves as a foundational pillar for civic engagement, allowing individuals to voice their opinions and advocate for meaningful change. By protecting the right to dissent, it ensures that citizens can hold government institutions accountable without fear of retaliation. This open exchange of ideas fosters vibrant democracy where diverse perspectives contribute to public discourse and collective decision-making. Ultimately, robust speech protections empower communities to address social issues and shape the future of their society. Terrorism starts with intolerance and hate speech. It is taught. This is intolerance for political gain. It is no less terrorism because it's an attempt to remove someone who doesn't believe in what you believe. It doesn't represent our community. What we haven't heard and what I would like to hear and see posted publicly on your website is the rule by which Derek Marshall's position is being challenged for removal. This is not freedom. I urge the Victorville City Council to post for transparency purposes the official reason why Derek Marshall's position is being challenged. What rule did he break or violate? Because preventing someone from exercising their freedom of speech is terrorism. There are so many more important and worthwhile things to spend time on. Ousting somebody for exercising their freedom of speech is a great waste of taxpayer money. Be better neighbors, be better neighbors, be better elected officials. It is your sworn duty to represent us all, even if you don't agree with our message. By protecting the right to dissent, it really ensures that citizens can hold government institutions accountable without fear of retaliation. I am a 9/11 survivor, emergency medical technician. I've been in the high desert for 15 years. We have homes in both Victorville and Apple Valley. And I really hope you can post for everybody to see what Derek Marshall did that was so wrong by using his freedom of speech on his personal time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna Real, followed by Stevana Evans, then Clayton Moore.
Hi, my name is Ana Rael. My parents came from Mexico to the greatest country in the United States. to the greatest country in the entire world, the United States. They came here to achieve the American dream. They did not flee to Cuba, they did not flee to Venezuela, they did not flee to Iran. He came to the United States because he wanted to achieve that dream. I'm here not as a Republican, not as a Democrat, I'm here as a parent. I support the removal of Derek Marshall, knowing that Victorville is one of the most dangerous cities in the entire state for a pedestrian. He had the poor judgment to take the kids away from their safe environment, blocks away from the school, for his own political stunt. I'm here as a parent. Do not disguise this as a political convenience, as a pedophile government, as a political expression of freedom of speech, of freedom of assembly. Poor judgment. Next time, Derek Marshall, you wanna do your freedom of speech, because you have the right, do it with your own kids. Do not do it with other parents' kids. I support the removal of Derek Marshall.
Stevonna Evans, followed by Clayton Moore, then Heather Davis.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Stevonna Evans, and I serve as a council member on the City of Adelanto. I'm here tonight because what you are considering is bigger than one commissioner or one protest. It's about the principle of civic participation. Recently, Commissioner Derek Marshall stood alongside students who were exercising their right to express concern about an issue affecting their community. Whether we personally agree with the protest or not should not be the deciding factor here. The question before you tonight is whether participation in civic expression disqualifies someone from public service. In Adelanto, we once made a very similar decision. A commissioner was removed because of a difference of opinion and political issue. At the time, some believed it was justified, but history proved otherwise. It became a blemish on our city that we ultimately had to confront and make right. It taught us that punishing people for expressing their views does far more damage to public trust than disagreement ever could. I would respectfully admonish this council not to repeat the mistakes we made. There is also something else worth considering. The young people who organized that walkout were largely seniors. That means many of them will be of voting age by November. Those students who mobilized 110 of their peers in just 24 hours, so I would ask that you consider, if they were able to organize that many voices in one day, what do you think they will be capable of doing in the next 245 days leading up to November 3rd? Tonight's decision will send a message, not only to Commissioner Marshall, but to every young person watching about whether their voice is welcomed in civic life. I urge you to choose the path that strengthens democracy, not discourages it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clayton Moore, followed by Heather Davis, then Jacob Miller.
All right. Good evening, council. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming tonight. As you might know, I'm also an elected official. I'm on a school board, but I'm just representing myself tonight as a private citizen. But I took that oath of office to defend the Constitution, and I'm an elected official, as I said, and I've been to a few protests, and I'm still here. So I would extend that courtesy to every elected official. Why don't you come on out to a protest? See what the people are like, see what they're talking about. I've also seen some of you at the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Parade, where we have our Civil Rights Monument over there that our city dedicates every year. Just remembering that the Constitution protects everybody, all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heather Davis, followed by Jacob Miller, then Leanne Larson.
Thank you. Hello, I'm a student at VVC and I've lived in Adelanto for upwards of 16 years. I'd like to say that if you don't want kids participating in protests, I'd like to start off with this. You shouldn't be letting federal organizations that are not constitutional whatsoever be terrorizing our communities, including our kids. I was a kid myself, as many of you, and it's very apparent that throughout the history of America, the youth have been the first to step up a lot of the times to protest a lot of unconstitutional things, things that are wrong, things that we shouldn't be doing. And we always look back and we praise these kids, or maybe we don't, but we admire them. And every time it happens in the present, they're always oppressed. They're always given penalties, penalized. I want you to think like you're looking back on a history book instead of living in this present moment. And I want you to think, what would I have wanted to do if this was 80 years ago? I also want to say that, Bob, it sounds like you didn't just betray your community or your oath. It sounds like you betrayed a friend. And that was really sad to hear. I didn't catch that man's name, but I think I can speak for most of the room in here that we are heartbroken for that man. Heartbroken. It sounds like he was betrayed so badly. Yeah, if you don't want kids to be involved, then don't let them be terrorized. And we can start there. But until then, we have a freedom of expression, and that includes our council members, and that includes our governments, our local governments. And I do want to remind you that I agree with what that woman was saying, where these kids are going to be voting age soon. And not only that, we're also going to be old enough to take the seats that you're sitting in right now. Please remember that. We will be looking back on you. We will remember you. We will remember your actions. And that's all I have to say for now. Also, I came here from school, so please move the agenda item up. I'm tired. We are all tired. We have things to do. I want to speak about this now. I want to go home. Thank you.
Jacob Miller, followed by Leanne Larson.
Hi, thank you for your time. I really appreciate being able to speak. My name is Jacob Miller. As a delivery driver, I've personally witnessed ICE in our community, watched them stop people, and it's honestly scary. It's a moment that you just kind of want to look the other way, but we can't. I want to express my support of Derek Marshall in his First Amendment right to be able to protest. I don't think that it's proper that he has to face some kind of backlash, for better words, for simply speaking about something that is so harsh. These people have not really been treating the community with the respect that it deserves. And so when students want to be able to speak their opinion, I think they deserve it. As they've said before, I'm not sure exactly what the name of the article is, but they do have the right to be able to walk out on a certain day. Anyhow, thank you very much for your time, and I would also like to be able to move it to the first item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leanne Larson.
Hello, my name's Lyanne Larson, and I just wanted to say that I'm absolutely appalled at this situation and the way it is being handled. And if I'm being honest, I hope the situation is making you guys uncomfortable, because it's not comfortable for us to sit here and or stand and have to defend Derek for doing his right and being with these students in a time of need. Because obviously no one is going to help them, not even you guys. I will support and defend Mr. Marshall all the way through this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that concludes our speaker cards for the evening. However, we did receive some emailed public comment that have been distributed and posted to the website.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, are there any conflict of interest declarations from my council members? None. We will move on to public hearing. Our first business of order is item 1, ordinance number 2464, 2465, and 2466, amending Title 16 of the Victorville Municipal Code with an environmental exemption to provide updated regulation requirements, definition, and standards for the maintenance of vacant buildings and rental of residential and commercial property. Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council.
Audience members, the council has heard each one of you, and we respected your quiet. If you do not, Mr. Metzler, would you keep continuing?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. This item involves 3 ordinances, all heard by the Planning Commission on January 14th of this year and approved unanimously, and updates our residential rental inspection program. It also creates a framework for commercial buildings in Victorville to be subjected to a similar program where commercial properties are going to be required to register as businesses subject to business licenses, annual inspections, and certain maintenance standards, especially when properties are vacant. And so with that, this item has been authored by your code enforcement official, Mr. George Duran. He's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendations?
That the Honorable City Council conduct a public hearing to receive testimony regarding proposed ordinance numbers 2464, 2465, and 2466. Close the public hearing. Find ordinance numbers 2464, 2465, and 2466 categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under CEQA Guidelines Section 15061B3. Introduce ordinance numbers 2464, 2465, and 2466 for adoption and first reading by title only, and waive further reading in full of proposed ordinance numbers 2464, 2465, and 2466.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we'll do technical questions from council members. Councilmember Mora?
Okay, so I just wanted to confirm that we said all of these amendments have already been approved unanimously by our planning commission?
That's correct.
Okay, and so this was for some residentials who are renting their house or their rooms and their business licenses, as well as commercial businesses maintaining the business license as well?
Yeah, there's 3 pieces to this. First, it's making some minor alterations to the existing rental residential business license program that we have, basically requiring inspections by our inspectors as opposed to the self-inspection process that's currently in code. So that's the fundamental change for ordinance number, for the first ordinance, 2464. And then 2465 and 66 both deal with commercial properties, first creating a similarly natured framework as we do for residential property owners that are conducting rental businesses, where commercial properties effectively have to go through similarly natured maintenance responsibilities as a function of their business license program. And then finally, the 2466 creates the requirement for commercial property owners that conduct leasing or rental activities for them to actually register as business owners.
Okay, and so this is just to prevent absentee landlords from like making dangerous situations in their properties and in their homes. Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Godin?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just had a couple questions for clarity. Number one, just to reaffirm that this is to control blight and also for property safety, that these properties are not being vandalized. Is that correct?
That's the fundamental purpose, yes. George, you have anything more to add on that?
That's exactly it. It's a maintenance, both maintenance programs.
Okay, and Mr. Duran, can you tell me exactly how we will be informing the property owners?
Sure. On the first part, the residential side, we will provide 60 days notice, letting them know that the program has experienced a change to allow them time to ready their properties. In addition, we'll also provide them an inspection checklist so we can help them and assist them in passing their inspection. And equally the same thing for commercial locations as well. Where we will be informing them that a required license is needed, and equally providing them an inspection program sheet so they can ready their properties. We want them to pass.
And this is more so going to be a change for the commercial property owners. Is that my understanding? We didn't have anything like this in place prior.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Irving?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My concerns were addressed during my agenda review, therefore I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Protem Harriman?
I also had all my questions answered. That's all.
At this time, I'll open up the public hearing. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak in
No.
reference to item 1?
No, Madam Mayor.
I'll now close the public hearing. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of ordinance number 2464, 2465, and 2466?
Ordinance number 2464, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Victorville approving amendment case PLAN 25-00023 and adopting amendments to Chapter 1, Article 3, and Chapter 6, Article 5 of Title 16 of the Victorville Municipal Code with an environmental exemption for the purpose of updating code enforcement procedures and the city's existing residential rental property requirements. Ordinance number 2465, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Victorville approving amendment case PLAN 25-00023 and adding a new Article 14 entitled Maintenance of Vacant Buildings to Chapter 6 of Title 16 of the Victorville Municipal Code with an environmental exemption for the purpose of adopting code enforcement procedures and regulations addressing the maintenance of vacant buildings throughout the city. Ordinance number 2466, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Victorville approving amendment case PLAN 25-00023 and adding new Article 15 entitled Commercial Rental Property Inspection Requirements to Chapter 6 of Title 16 of the Victorville Municipal Code with an environmental exemption for the purpose of adopting code enforcement procedures and inspection regulations for commercial rental properties throughout the city.
I'll invite a motion for this item.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt recommendations 3 through 5.
Second?
The first by Councilmember Irving, the second by Councilmember Godin. Councilmember Irving, any comments on the pending motion?
No comments, thank you.
Councilmember Godin?
I have none, thank you.
Councilmember Mora?
I have none, thank you.
Mayor Protem Harriman?
Yes, I'm happy to see this go through. A lot of people are ignoring. So I appreciate that, George. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Protem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to the consent calendar, items 2 through 10.
Madam Mayor, would you like to announce that we've adopted that item?
Oh, that's right. Thank you. We've now taken action to approve points 3 through 5 of staff's recommendation. We'll move on to the consent calendar.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adopt the consent calendar.
This, Mr. Give me 1 second. All right. Mr. Metzler, I just wanted to bring to your attention, I thank you and staff for item 5, the Finance Department, for this is our second year in a row with a clean audit. Item 6, our community service, the James L. Cox Library, just in the first couple of weeks that it's open, it's issued hundreds of new library cards. Thank you very much. Item 8, our fire department is the second busiest fire department in the county. And item 9, the Public Works and Water Department, thank you for everything staff does. Now I have a first by Councilmember Irving. Do I have a second?
Second?
Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Protem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
At this time, I would like to take a vote from council, moving items Item 16 to the first of written communication. Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin.
Yes.
Councilmember Irving.
Yes.
Councilmember Mora.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman.
Yes.
Mayor Becerra.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We'll now move on to item 16. Discussion and possible action, consider removal of Derek Marshall from the Victorville Planning Commission. Council members, we'll be combining questions and comments into one for this item. You'll have a time limit of 5 minutes. Mayor Pro Tem Harriman, since this is your item, would you like to introduce the item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone in attendance, along with those that have provided comment through social media. When I asked for this item to be scheduled, it was because I wanted to have a discussion in a very transparent way about the possibility of removing Derek Marshall as an appoint to our planning commission. When doing so, I stated that Mr. Marshall is an appointed local public official and that his participation in the protest event communicates a disregard for our local governance structure. You all may not know, but here in Victorville, we have a governance structure that is defined by our adopted policies and procedures manual, our adopted strategic plan, our adopted city council norms for effective governance, and our code of ethics. As a city council, we have taken part in many trainings that have helped us not only understand our role, but to understand what good governance is. Our governance structure sets the tone for how we conduct ourselves here at City Hall and out into the community. Our rules clearly state that in our role as officials representing the city, we must not take a public position on an issue unless it's been voted on by the council. And then it's the mayor who will communicate the view taken by the council. This is extremely important because it ensures the view of the council as a whole can be clearly communicated to our community. So the discussion I wanted to have is more related to a behavior displayed by Mr. Marshall here at City Hall that is very inconsistent with how we as a council conduct ourselves. By taking part in the peaceful protests that ended here at Victorville City Hall, Mr. Marshall communicated opposition of the federal government's enforcement of federal immigration policy. Something
This is your second warning. Audience member, please cease from disruptive behavior. You had your opportunity on this item.
something that this city council has absolutely no jurisdiction over. He violated an oath of office we all take as public officials. All right, I'm done.
We'll be taking a 10-minute break, Madam Clerk. Let's go. Take a break. Take a break. Hold on. 10 minutes.
Yes.
Hold your people in a nuclear way. They cannot destroy the meeting. We just tried it later. You need to tell them that.
Oh, I appreciate your position, but respectfully, these are not my people. These are the citizens.
But what did I just tell? But what did I say to you? I said that you're not the first person that has not recognized me, and you won't be the last because I deal with it often. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. I did not. Why are you patting me on the back? For what? I did not give it to the guy. Well, anyway, whatever.
Mija, I gotta start the meeting, okay? Give one of your cards. She wants one of your cards. I'm gonna start the meeting, Mija. Give me a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, the council has heard each and every one of you that requested to speak on this item. We respected your opinions. We respected your speaking time. Now it's the council's time to have our say, okay? We would ask you, please, if you give us the same respect that was given to Mr. Marshall and the rest of you, okay? Mr. Harriman, if you'd like to finish.
So the discussion I wanted to have is more related to a behavior displayed by Mr. Marshall here at City Hall. That is very inconsistent with how we as a council conduct ourselves. By taking part in the peaceful protest that ended here at Victorville City Hall, Mr. Marshall communicated opposition of the federal government's enforcement of federal immigration policy, something that this city council has absolutely no jurisdiction over.
That is your second warning, please.
He violated an oath of office we all take as public officials, which is to uphold all laws, local, state, and federal.
All right, folks. This is your final warning. After this, we will clear the chambers. Okay? Courtesy.
Mr. Marshall took part in an activity that disrupted the city's ability to conduct business here at City Hall. And because he did it here at City Hall, our residents can't distinguish the difference between him acting as a private resident or a public official.
All right.
What is
At this time, we are going to clear the chambers. This disruption cannot cease. This is in Government Code Section 54957.9. Deputies, will you please clear the room? We will take a 5-minute break. Clear the room. Clear the room, deputies. Clear the rooms. Clear the rooms. Mr. Marshall, in the front, please. We are clearing the room. This has to do with him. Clear the room. You guys can sit out there. Okay? Clear the room. Everybody has to go, both sides. At this time, we will bring the meeting back to order. Mr. Harriman, you can finish.
Okay, I hope everyone in the lobby can hear. I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning since it got interrupted a couple times. First of all, I want to thank everyone in attendance, along with those that have provided comment through social media. When I asked for this item to be scheduled, it was because I wanted to have a discussion in a very transparent way about the possibility of removing Derek Marshall as an appointee to our Planning Commission. When doing so, I stated that Mr. Marshall is an appointed local public official and that his participation in the protest event communicates a disregard for our local governance structure. We all may not know, but here in Victorville, we have a governance structure that is defined by our adopted policies and procedures manual, our adopted strategic plan, our adopted city council norms for effective governance, and our code of ethics. As a city council, we have taken part in many trainings that have helped us not only understand our role, but to understand what good governance is. Our governance structure sets the tone for how we conduct ourselves here at City Hall and out in the community. Our rules clearly state that in our role as officials representing the city, we must not take a public position on an issue unless it's been voted on by the council. And then it's the mayor who will communicate the view taken by the council. This is extremely important because it ensures the view of the council as a whole can be clearly communicated to our community. So the discussion I wanted to have is more related to a behavior displayed by Mr. Marshall here at City Hall that is very inconsistent with how we as a council conduct ourselves. By taking part in the peaceful protest that ended here at Victorville City Hall, Mr. Marshall communicated opposition of the federal government's enforcement of federal immigration policy, something that this city council has absolutely no jurisdiction over. He violated an oath of office we all take as public officials, which is to uphold all laws, local, state, and federal. Mr. Marshall took part in an activity that disrupted the city's ability to conduct business here at City Hall. And because he did it here at City Hall, our residents can't distinguish the difference between him acting as a private resident or a public official. What is significant about this is that Mr. Marshall has done all of this involving a subject that this city council has not taken a position on. Now, over the last couple weeks, I've had a lot of time to think about this, and this experience has reminded me a lot about the last time we had a rogue public official, one that behaved as an activist first without care for how we as a city build a community and provide local services. With that rogue public official, this council conducted itself in a way where we did everything we could to help that individual be successful before taking action. I believe in this case, Mr. Marshall is new to his role as a public official and may not understand the role we serve at the local government level. It's entirely possible that Mr. Marshall is not familiar with our policies and procedures manual, our code of ethics, and our adopted norms. It's also entirely possible that Mr. Marshall hasn't been exposed to trainings we have had that help us as public officials understand our role. Based on how we have conducted ourselves in the past, I don't believe it's necessary at this time to remove Mr. Marshall from the Planning Commission, but instead communicate to him very clearly that his behavior was very inappropriate, violated our code of conduct, and more importantly, divides our community instead of attempting to unite our community. With all that said, I leave it up to the whole of the council as to the action it takes, but at the least, it may be necessary in our upcoming policy and procedures manual update to extend it being applicable to all of our commissions and committees. And I just want to say one other thing, hopefully they can hear. I had no problem with the students protesting. It's getting in front of the city hall and causing the city manager to have to lock it down. That's wrong. That's what was wrong. I have no problem with the protesting, but it sure got moved around by everybody. Okay? That's all I have.
Councilwoman Mora?
Would you like me to read the recommendation, Madam Mayor?
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
Any action is at the direct discretion of your honorable city council.
Madam Mayor, may I? Can we verify that they can hear in the lobby? Okay. Is there a way that we can adjust that quickly so that they can hear what's happening?
Derek, why don't you go out there and see if they can hear us?
Thank you.
They can? Yes.
Can you hear us now? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Mora?
Oh, they probably didn't hear anything I said.
Okay. Well, that was a lot. But I just want to say, when I was appointed to this council, there was concerns that I was going to be a partisan member of this council. And so,
Speak into your mic.
I just want to say that we are nonpartisan on this council, and also the people that we appoint. We're not here to take positions on things that we have no jurisdiction over. What I did have a problem with is right now our members in our community, our constituents, cannot pay their water bill online with the credit card, which is our usual way of paying things because it's just easier in our day of life. Unfortunately, City Hall had to close their doors and interrupt, our normal business for our constituents to pay the bill. That is what I find was inappropriate for anyone who's representing the city of Victorville to be participating in. Our job is to represent our constituents. Our job is to make their day-to-day life easier. And in that instance, they could have been intimidated or turned away just from paying their simple water bill. Working parents who have to do it on their lunch break, moms in the middle of dropping off their kids from school. It's just, you want to be able to come to the city and pay your water bill. And that was interrupted. And I find that to be very inappropriate. We do have a code of ethics and a code of conduct that does advise us on how we need to behave, just really lays it out. And it is nonpartisan. And I just believe that it is here for us and we have to abide by it. And I do think that we need to make sure that all of our city representatives, whether appointees for commissions or any board members, also have to abide by the same code of conduct that we do. So I think it is a good idea that we do implement that and that you do have the time to do that training and read over that so you can fully comprehend what we have to do as representatives for the community. That is all.
Thank you. Councilwoman Godin?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think that this is a good opportunity to be reminded that public service is not about power. It's about responsibility. It's about stewardship. My philosophy of governance begins with the simple principle. We are entrusted with authority not for personal advancement, but to serve the people with integrity, competence, and humility. I believe government must be accountable, transparent, and result-driven. The public deserves honesty about challenges, clarity about decisions, and measurable outcomes from the policies that we enact. We must manage taxpayer resources with discipline and foresight, recognizing that every dollar represents someone's hard work and sacrifice. Effective governance requires more than strong opinions and political viewpoints. It requires collaboration. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can debate vigorously without undermining democratic norms. Institutions function best when we respect them, strengthen them, and place the public interest above partisan advantage. As public officials, our conduct must reflect the trust placed in us. That means ethical decision-making, respect for the rule of law, and a commitment to civil discourse. Leadership is not measured by how loudly we speak, but by how responsibly we act, especially when decisions are difficult and even unpopular. I believe in principled leadership, being guided by enduring values rather than shifting political winds. That includes protecting individuals' liberties, promoting equal opportunity, fostering economic vitality, and ensuring that government remains a force for stability and fairness. As representatives of the city of Victorville, we have established specific strategic goals and a pathway to enact those goals. Tonight, let us be reminded that we have a mission ahead, that we have already laid out where our focus should be, and that is furthering the goals of the city. This keeps us united and on mission to create a better community for all, which is what we all really want. We must stay aligned to the mission at hand, not be sidetracked by personal opinions or preferences, especially ones that are not aligned with our agreed upon goals. This is why we have a plan in place, and this plan drives our decisions and where we place our focus. Public office is a privilege. It demands integrity in private conduct and courage in public duty. As elected or appointed officials, we have a commitment to the city we serve and the people we represent to lead with transparency, serve with humility, and govern with discipline. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Irving.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To my colleagues and to the residents of Victorville who are listening on, tonight we are considering the removal of Derek Marshall from the Victorville Planning Commission. After reviewing the facts and making inquiry with the city manager, I stand in opposition to his removal. This matter comes down to a straightforward question. Did Commissioner Marshall violate any law, city policy, or misuse his official title to represent the city of Victorville? Based on the information available to me, the answer is no. He did not use his title. He did not purport to speak on behalf of the city, the Planning Commission, or this council. He acted in his capacity as a private citizen. Whether we agree with the optics or the message is not the legal standard before us. The standard is whether a violation occurred, and none has been demonstrated. Public service does not require the surrender of constitutional rights. We do not relinquish our First Amendment protections when we are elected or appointed. The Bill of Rights safeguards freedom of speech, including speech that may be unpopular or controversial. My oath is not to public pressure or shifting sentiment. My oath is to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That responsibility requires consistency, especially when it's uncomfortable. If we remove an appointed official for exercising lawful constitutional rights outside of their official capacity, we risk setting a precedent that weakens the freedoms we are sworn to defend. We may not always agree with what is said, but protecting the right to say it is foundational to who we are as Americans. For those reasons, I cannot support his removal. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll close the door. What is interesting here, many of you already know, is that not very long ago I did participate in a peaceful protest at Silverado High School before school hours. I did so in my role as a public official, opposing the development of a drug and alcohol treatment facility next door to a middle and a high school. What made my participation different from Mr. Marshall's involvement in the ICE protest that ended here at City Hall is that the City Council voted to take an actual position against the county's development. Additionally, as mayor, our adopted policies and procedures manual identifies me as having the authority to speak on behalf of the council for matters in which it takes a position. And finally, the position we took was united with a similar position taken by the high school district and relates directly to a threat undertaken by the county to our local land use authority. The federal policy concerning immigration enforcement is outside our local jurisdiction, meaning we have no legal ability as a city to enforce or interfere with federal policy. And as we can all recognize, the room, immigration enforcement is very partisan. I have respect for each of us to hold our personal views on this issue. As leaders of this community representing a nonpartisan office, it is a responsibility of ours to keep partisan policies out of our governance, focusing instead on doing everything we can to unite our community, not dividing our community. Mr. Marshall was appointed by the City Council to serve on the Planning Commission. Among other things, the Planning Commission is tasked with helping ensure orderly development in our city and consistent with policies adopted by the City Council. As a public official, Mr. Marshall's behaviors were not representative of how the City Council conducts itself. When Mr. Marshall stepped on City Hall property, there was no way of the public to know that he was acting as a private resident or as a public official. He used City Hall as a backdrop to support his activism. He hijacked a student protest and exploited their involvement by quickly going to social media with pictures of minors, all for his political gain. As a public official appointed to an office of this city, Mr. Marshall has misled our residents into believing we have a position on the federal government's immigration policy. We do not. Another thing that I observe and I think is worth recognizing is how Mr. Marshall personally contributed to a physical disruption to services we provide our residents of our community. If you look at this picture, the same one that's posted on his social media page, he is blocking the public entrance of our customer service counters. This is the same entrance that many of our residents were trying to access just so they could pay their water and trash bills. Sadly, our employees had to work with the residents that were afraid about their experience visiting City Hall. As a City Council, we have experienced road activist behavior among public officials in the past. We also, as a council, have worked hard towards goal of promoting good governance through education and awareness. I don't think there's a need to approach this situation differently. I don't believe that would be consistent with past practices. Resulting from this discussion, I believe Mr. Marshall has heard loud and clear that there is a much higher expectation from him when he serves as a public official for the city. I would encourage, again, as a council, we consider requiring all of our appointee bodies to be subject to our policy and procedure manuals, and that appointees be provided with an opportunity to understand them. And finally, Mr. Marshall, I am a huge supporter of our First Amendment right to peacefully protest. However, if you can't distinguish the difference in serving as uniting leader for this city versus as a polarizing activist, you should think about your motives to hold office. Are your motives self-serving or for political gain to build a stronger Victorville? At this time, I'll invite a motion for this item. Since there is no motion, motion dies. We'll now move on to item 11. Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. Item 11, California Department of Justice Tobacco Grant Program Budget Amendment. Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. Prop 56 was enacted in 2016 to do, among other things, help reduce the marketing and sale of tobacco products and e-cigarettes to minors. Subsequently, the State Department of Justice made funds available to local agencies such as ours to provide education, training, and enforcement for local businesses. In 2024, the city of Victorville was awarded a little over $111,000 funded on a reimbursement basis over a 2-year period. And since that time, our code compliance team has conducted over 160 compliance inspections. This item is on the agenda to appropriate $56,780, both on the revenue side and on the expense side, for funds awarded by the California Department of Justice. And so with that, this item is authored by your code enforcement official, Mr. George Duran, and he's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
That the Honorable City Council adopt Resolution Number 26-011, approving a budget amendment for fiscal year 2025-2026 to appropriate $56,780 in both revenue and expenditures related to the Tobacco Grant Program as awarded by the California Department of Justice.
We'll now take technical questions from council member regarding this item. Councilmember Godin?
I have none, thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Mora?
I just wanted to clarify that this grant is, you said reimbursement basis, right? So we don't just get this chunk of money. We have to show we are utilizing it for what it is intended for, and that's how we get reimbursed back.
That's correct.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Irving?
No questions. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Is this something that we will probably have annually? Sorry, George.
I believe so. Yes, this is a 2-year grant, and it's the first year that the Department of Justice has issued that, at least to us. So our expectation is it will continue.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Duran, how have we been doing in enforcing our e-cigarette tobacco for our local, where they sell them?
Certainly, it is a challenge. It's a challenge with respect to ensuring that retailers are abiding to the state law. But I think our approach continues to be educate, until we find that we're potentially dealing with retailers who are just not interested in cooperating.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'll invite a motion for this item.
Move to adopt staff recommendation as presented on the agenda.
Second.
Comments on the pending motion? Councilwoman Godin?
I have none, thank you.
Councilwoman Irving?
No comments. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
I have none. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I have none.
Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We've now taken action to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda. Item 12, letter of support for Assembly Bill 1708, Solache, HHAP Pathways for Cities Act. Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. Assembly Bill 1708 is a proposed bill that is intended to streamline the application process for cities that have a population of less than 300,000, where HHAP funding administered through the continuum of care for the County of San Bernardino will prioritize cities' applications in the competitive process over nonprofit organizations that don't have the same responsibilities as cities do that have housing element and encampment policies. And so with that, this item has been authored by your city planner, Mr. Alex Hattigi, and he's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
That the Honorable City Council authorize the mayor to submit a letter of support for Assembly Bill 1708, including language recommending that a city-adopted homelessness strategic plan aligned with regional goals be recognized as satisfying applicable regional planning requirements, and authorize staff to transmit the letter of support to the bill author, the city's state legislative representatives, collaborating organizations, and through the state's electronic advocacy portal.
Thank you. At this time, we'll do technical questions from council members. Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I have none.
Councilwoman Irving?
No questions. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
No questions. Thank you.
Councilwoman Godin?
I've already had my questions answered.
I'll invite a motion for this item.
Move to adopt staff recommendation as to points 1 and 2 as presented on the agenda.
Second.
I have a first by Councilwoman Godin, a second by Councilwoman Irving. Comments on the pending motion, Councilwoman Godin?
I have none, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Irving?
No comments. Thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
I have none. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I have none.
Madam Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We've now taken action to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda. Item 13, Emergency Solution Grants Program Agreement with San Bernardino County. Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. In June of 2025, the State Department of Housing and Community Development awarded funds to San Bernardino County Continuum of Care. And resulting from that award, the county staff has reached out to Victorville this last January to see if there's any interest in utilizing some of the county funding to further our own housing goals to support our unsheltered population. And because this city and the council have been hugely supportive and focused on providing support to those in Victorville that have need, we did agree to accept the offered funds. And so presuming approval by the council of this item, this money will go towards cold and warm weather emergency sheltering along with rapid rehousing. And so with that, this item also is authored by your city planner, Mr. Alex Hattigi, and he's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
That the Honorable City Council adopt Resolution Number 26-013, authorizing an agreement between the City of Victorville and San Bernardino County to receive Emergency Solutions Grants Program grant funds in the amount of $193,300.88 to support the ongoing operation of the Wellness Center and/or emergency shelter services serving individuals experiencing homelessness. Authorize the city manager to finalize all documents needed to execute the agreement and administer the overall project. Authorize the city manager to make any necessary amendments to the agreement as deemed necessary by San Bernardino County and the city attorney. And adopt Resolution Number 26-012, amending the annual budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 to reflect an additional appropriation in the amount of $193,300.88.
At this time, we'll do technical questions from council members. Councilmember Godin?
I have none, thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
Just to confirm, this is to help with the cold weather emergency shelter, warm weather emergency shelter, rapid rehousing, and grant administration?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Councilwoman Irving?
No questions, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes, I would like to say congratulations to staff for getting those grants. You guys do a great job at that. And without them grants, the wellness center, thanks you guys.
Thank you.
I'll invite a motion for this item.
Move to adopt staff recommendation as to points 1 through 4 as presented on the agenda.
Second.
I have a first by Councilwoman Godin, a second by Councilwoman Irving. Councilwoman Godin, comments on the pending motion?
I have none, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Irving?
No comments, thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
No comments, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman? Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We've now taken action to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda. Item 14, acceptance of the California State Library Grant Fund for lunch at the library summer 2026 project. Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. Yes, this item involves another award of grant funds, this time from the California State Library, where funds have been awarded to help our summer reading program at the Victorville Library. It's certainly an opportunity to better connect students during the summertime. And so with that, this funding will go towards meals during the 6-week program. Meal prep will actually be done by the Victor Elementary School District. This is the first time we've applied for this grant. Certainly envision applying for it in the future. And so with this, with that, this item we believe will complement the activities at the new library fairly well this coming summer. And so with that, the item has been authored by your Community Services Director, Ms. Donna Meester, and she's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
That the Honorable City Council adopt Resolution Number 26-009 and 26-010, thereby accepting grant funds from the California State Library, providing the city with $15,750 to launch the Lunch at the Library Summer 2026 project, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to finalize all documents to execute the grant contract, and amending the annual budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 to reflect an additional appropriation in the amount of $15,750 in revenues and expenditures.
This time we'll do technical questions from council member. Councilmember Mora,
I have none, thank you.
Councilmember Godin,
I have none, thank you.
Councilmember Irving,
No questions, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman,
I have none.
and I have none. I'll invite a motion for this item.
Move to adopt staff recommendation as to points 1 through 3 as presented on the agenda.
Second.
You can pick who. I have a first by Councilmember Godin and
I'll take Councilmember Mora if that's okay.
council, comments on the pending motion, Councilmember Godin?
I do. I just want to say great job to Mrs. Meadster and your team in finding and securing this grant. So well done.
Councilmember Mora?
Again, thank you, staff, for doing this. I think it's going to be a lovely compliment to our beautiful library this summer.
Councilwoman Irving?
Yes, I do have comments. I'm so happy that the city secured grant funds from the state library to launch lunch at the library this summer. Not only will kids be able to have lunch, but they'll be able to feed their little curiosities at the library in a safe and nurturing environment. So I'm really happy about this item. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I would just repeat, good job, staff. Good job, Donna. Thank you.
They read my notes. We've been sharing notes, Ms. Meester. Thank you very much to you and staff. I see it getting bigger. You may not, but I do. We have other locations. Thank you very much, ma'am. Madam Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Councilmember Godin?
Yes.
Councilmember Irving?
Yes.
Councilmember Mora?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes.
Mayor Becerra?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We've now taken action to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda. Item 15, roof restoration contract award for the Water Department facilities. Mr. Metzler, wait a minute. Yeah, Mr. Metzler, would you kindly introduce this item?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Throughout the city, the Water District has several buildings that enclose either domestic water wells or domestic water treatment works. And so as a part of our facility maintenance program, we regularly assess the physical condition of our buildings and accordingly make repairs based upon our conditions assessments. This item focuses on the restoration of roofing systems at 6 locations throughout our system. Based on the scope of work and the results of our public procurement process, this item is brought forward for a low bid recommendation. And so this item is authored by your Director of Public Works and Water, Mr. Doug Matthews, and he's available for any questions or comments you might have.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the recommendation?
That the Honorable Board of Directors award a contract to FC and Sons Roofing, Inc. in the amount of $205,172 for the roof replacement for various sites, project number MS26-075.
At this time, we'll do technical questions from council members. Councilmember Godin?
I have none, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Irving?
No questions, thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes, I just wanted to go ahead and confirm that these buildings that the roof is going to be redone, they're between 10 to 20 years old. So the average is about 4.8 years. On this, it shows that there is a 40-year warranty. Does that mean that the roof will be covered for the next 40 years and we won't have to allocate funds to fix the roof again during that time for these specific buildings?
Not necessarily. There's still, the warranties come in multiple phases as well for the different elements that comprise the entire system. And so the 40-year would be for the roofing membrane and the flashings, but of course there's lesser warranty on the coatings. And so we'll still do our regular inspections, and to the extent there's things that I guess negatively impact the roofing system, say that aren't under warranty, obviously we'll fix them if issues are identified. And so you may see maintenance repair related items in that regard. But for all intents and purposes, if there's no other types of damage, that is the expected life expectancy.
Okay, so investment in the infrastructure. Sounds good. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I have no questions.
I'll invite a motion for this item. Motion to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda.
Second.
Comments on the pending motion? I have none. Councilwoman Irving, comments on the pending motion?
No comments, thank you.
Councilman Godin?
I have none, thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
I have none, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yeah, I'm still shocked that we can't find a local roofer It's really, that's too bad. The money would stay up here. And then, I just hope, the winner with the lowest bid, that is a low bid. So I'm just hoping the workmanship plays out. That's all I have.
Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Godin,
Yes.
Councilmember Irving,
Yes.
Councilmember Mora,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman,
Yes.
Mayor Becerra.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We've now taken action to approve staff's recommendation as presented on the agenda. We already took care of item 16. We'll now move on to item 17, City Manager reports. Mr. Metzler.
Nothing to report at this time, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Item 18, discussion and possible action regarding upcoming agenda items. Councilwoman Irving?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilwoman Mora?
I have none, thank you.
Councilwoman Godin?
I have none.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
Yes, I'd like to agendize visiting our policies and procedures manual, our adopted strategic plan, our city council norms, effective governance, and our code of ethics to include committee members and commissioners.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman, I need some clarification. You just want to bring it up to,
Yeah, I want to change the wording so that it includes commissioners and committee members.
Madam Clerk, is that something we're going to visit in August?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Unfortunately, the policy manual as written today indicates that we won't take any action to change the policy manual. It's in a 2-year cycle, I believe, so it becomes available for review in August of this year.
Okay, thank you. I withdraw that.
Okay. If I may, Madam Clerk, Councilwoman Irving, did you want to bring up the resolution for the lady you wanted to give?
It was under the impression that you guys were going to attend one of
You're taking care of
You
that.
need to bring it up? No, okay, you're right, I'm wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Item 19, reports from council members. Councilwoman Mora?
I just want to encourage all of our city residents and businesses to sign up for our Easter event. I think it'll be really good to see a lot of our community members just be active, our vendors. I know we have a lot of great ones. So I did see that application is open and March 20th was the deadline. So I'd like to encourage all of our community members to be able to participate. And as far as, I did want to mention that I was able to attend Sergeant Grant Ward's memorial. And one thing that really stuck with me is his counterpart saying that although they didn't always agree and they had very good discussions, they always respected one another. And I really feel like he was an honorable person, and that relationship really created leadership for their particular line of duty and really resulted in a lot of great things. And so I hope we can all take something from that and learn to have open discussions and respect one another. And I just appreciated being able to attend that on behalf of Victorville City. That's all.
Councilwoman Godin?
I have nothing, thank you.
Councilmember Irving?
I don't have anything to report, but I would like to wish the women happy Women's History Month, and I encourage all females to walk in their power and do what you do and making a difference in people's lives. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Harriman?
I have none.
And I have none. The time is 8:49 and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.